Fox 5 News starts now.
His arrest should send a clear message. You can hide your face, but you can't hide from the elite investigators of the U.S. Marshal Service.
And we start tonight here at 10 o'clock with that man that Philadelphia police say was wanted for terrorizing citizens and sparking a multi-state manhunt. He is behind bars tonight right here in the Valley. According to the U.S. Marshals Service, 22-year-old Zymire Hughes was tracked down and arrested in Las Vegas. Fox 5's Sophia Bruinsma here tonight with more on the investigation and what led to this apprehension. Sophia?
Tom, U.S. Marshals Nevada Violent Offender Task Force members took Hughes into custody tonight. Investigators say Hughes chased and harassed multiple people in Philadelphia in the early morning hours of August 15th. Police believe his motive may have been to get attention on social media. The U.S. Marshals Nevada Violent Offender Task Force arrested Zymire Hughes tonight in Las Vegas, ending a several-day search. Marshals say Hughes fled Philadelphia on August 19th, flying out of New Jersey to Orlando before ultimately landing at Harry Reid International Airport. But investigators soon determined this wasn't his first time in Nevada. Marshals say he had actively and has actually been living here in Vegas since February, believing that he has ties to both Nevada and California for work. Once back in the Valley, investigators say Hughes changed locations to evade capture, hiding out at a southeast Las Vegas apartment complex for the last 5 days. The task force eventually spotted Hughes on surveillance footage at the apartment complex, allowing them to zero in on his position.
But I can tell you, our deputy marshals and our task force officers were extremely happy because it's 106 degrees out there in Las Vegas, and they had spent literally the last 4 to 5 days conducting surveillance, running down leads, and just doing what deputy marshals do. So this was an outstanding job by everybody, the police department, the Marshal Service here, the Marshal Service in Las Vegas.
According to the U.S. Marshals, when they arrested him, they say Hughes questioned the arrest and resisted officers, forcing deputies to subdue him. Marshals saying that they did not find his mask. The Marshal Service says that he did have some criminal history, but they do not think that he was known to authorities here in Las Vegas.
All right, Sophia, thank you. And Hughes was wanted on a warrant charging him with terroristic threats, harassment, simple assault, and intimidation. He's currently being held at the Clark County Detention Center as he awaits extradition back to Pennsylvania, which marshals say can take several weeks. We reached out to the U.S. Marshals here in Nevada for more information.